Welcome back everyone to our Easter weekend racing postcast with myself, Lee Mottershead. We've got James Hill, Brendan Duke, and from our sponsors, Paddy Power, Rob Catterson. And we're now going to look at the first of 3 days of cracking racing at Fairyhouse, the Irish Grand National Festival. And it begins with a card that's full of stars, lots of Cheltenham Festival winners too on Sunday. The big race, Rob, is the Ryanair Gold Cup. Grade 1, 9 runners here representing just 2 trainers. Remarkable, really. Willie Mullins and Gordon Elliott have all the 9 runners. Rob, how are they betting?
Yeah, it's amazing. I think for a Grade 1 in Ireland, it has to be a first that we've only two trainers covering the whole field. It's brilliant, and obviously we've got the Irish Trainers Championship, which will be kicking up a gear. So we're 5-4 Shattered Love, the Cheltenham winner, 9-2 the Storyteller. So Gordon's got the top 2 in the betting. 5's Invitation Only. We're 5-1 also Album Photo. 12's Saturnas and 14's Bar. Okay,
and Rob, how do you see the race?
I was very, very keen on Invitation Only at Cheltenham. Obviously, things didn't go well when he did the splits at the 4th last, but the fact that they're running him here, I know Willie's probably going to run an awful lot of horses over the coming weeks, but he's a horse that I just thought was capable of winning a Grade 1. I was very impressed with him at Punchestown. I thought he was definitely the pick of Willie's. And if you're looking for something at a price, there was a few quid earlier in the week for Up for Review. It was an easy winner at Goran on his most recent start. And obviously, he comes here fresh. But I think it could be a 1-2 for Willie and a 1-2 for Graham Wiley as well.
Okay. We should actually say, you think this would be a first, but it's actually not. In the Ryanair hurdle over Christmas, Willie and Gordon had all their runners in that race too. But Brendan, in a 9-runner race, to have, I mean, you're a thinker on these matters. What's your take on it? Is it good? Is it bad? Are you indifferent to it?
I personally think as a spectator, it's good,
right?
Because you have these owners, and it's a purely selfish thing. In years gone by, I would have had to go to England to see these horses.
Yeah,
and it's created this perfect storm, I think, with Gordon, where Willie wasn't great at running his horses against one another, but now he has to.
Yes.
Because every time he turns around, Gordon's another 100 grand ahead in the trainer's title.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter to me who owns or who trains the horses once they run against one another. That's purely speaking as a spectator, which is the only way I can speak.
Yeah, no.
And I think this is a proper race, and there'll be plenty of proper races between this meeting and Punchestown with Willie's quest to retain his trainer's title, and it'll make for very good viewing.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. They're also there's a large number of owners in that Ryanair Gold Cup as well. It's not as if they're two trainers, 2 owners. Quite a lot of different connections represented. Brandon, you didn't say who you think is going to win the race.
Well, I'm inclined to agree with Rob. I mean, Shattered Love is a worthy fav. She couldn't have been more impressed with the JLT, but we don't know what would have happened with Invitation Only. He was a bit on and off the bridle. I'm not sure he was loving the track or whatever, but he had come back onto the bridle prior to that slip. And it's a massive swing in the prices. He's now 4 times the price of Shattered Love. So I'll take a chance at that price on Invitation Only.
Okay, and James?
I'm going to go with Shattered Love. I was very impressed with her at Cheltenham. I thought she had questions to answer because she hadn't run well at the meeting the previous year. But I thought she won nicely, actually. She's a very nice-looking mare. I didn't think Invitation, well, having been at the track that day, looked well at all before the race, and he was weak in the market, and he didn't look to be going well to me when he had that slip-up. So I couldn't really fancy him on the back of that.
Okay, James, you're not keen on the Mullins #1 in that race. My guess is you're probably going to be keener on the Mullins #1 in the Irish Stallion Farms Mares Novice Hurdle, a little lady called Lorena.
Yeah, I think we can expect her to win, don't you?
I think we probably
after
can.
That performance at Cheltenham.
I think we probably can.
She's so exciting, isn't she? The sky's the limit for her. I just hope next season we don't see her running in loads of mares races. We actually see her running in the Champion Hurdle, or if ever fences an Arkle or something, because she really is box office.
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
Exciting.
I mean, Willie was saying after the Mares Novice Hurdle that if there was a mares chase at the festival, she'd be an obvious one for it, which in some ways I think is the biggest argument for not having a mares chase
absolutely, yeah.
at the Cheltenham Festival.
Well said.
Rob, tell me you're going to give us a bit of evens about Lorena.
Well, if we were going evens, I'd probably be resigning the first thing and back.
Oh, go on, just a little bit. No?
It'd be nice. It'd be well, maybe for you or something like that on the side or something like that. Like I'd say she's 1 to 3. I'd say there's whatever big hitters are in Fairyhouse are probably thinking that's money for Jam. Like there's just she's just head and shoulder. Like if this was a grade 1 novice hurdle at Punchestown and there was no Sam Crow, she'd probably be favoured to win any of those. She's just head and shoulders above everything. I think even Willie said it weeks before Cheltenham she was top class. So we're 1 to 3 her. We're 9 to 1 high school days. It's 12's bar. This is obviously a race for each way backers. And at the start of the season, before we'd heard anything about Lorena, the horse that was coming out as Willie's next future star was Salsaretta. And the first time we saw her was when she ran at Cheltenham. And she ran well for a long way before falling at the last. At 20 to 1, she looks hugely overpriced. They're obviously running her, getting a bit of black type. She'll probably still be a maiden next year and still a novice. So I think there's every chance she's going to be second or third at 20s, but it's only a matter of how far for Lorena.
Okay, a bit of an each way put there from Rob and Brendan.
Yes, impossible to oppose Lorena. Nothing little about this lady, is there?
No, she's a big unit. Girl. Yeah, she's a unit.
She's a big, and I have to say, I've assumed, as with all Willie Mullins, she'd go down the mare's route last year, but a bit of hope for James and the rest of us in terms of footpad. The owners have overruled Willie and gone to Aintree, and that mare that won the bumper in Cheltenham, Willie wanted to go for the mare's race in Sandown the previous weekend, because normally he has this voodoo control over owners. He does what he wants to do, and the owners just turn up on the day. But if the guy Sullivan, who did have a half share in Beaufort there, so he might feel there's a bit of unfinished business in the champion hurdle, if he said to Willie Mullins, now look, Willie, I'd love to go for a champion hurdle trial. It's not like we're short of them. I'd just go for a champion hurdle trial to see what she can do. She could yet end up making up into a champion hurdle mare.
Yeah, she's fantastic. Wouldn't it be great as well if she met Sam Crow at Punchestown? It probably won't happen, but that'd be very lovely.
The trainer's title up for grabs as well.
Yeah, wonderful. Guys, before we finish Punchestown, there's another Cheltenham Festival runner, Fairyhouse, sorry, another Cheltenham Festival runner going in the Grade 2 novice hurdle at 3:20 on Sunday, blow by blow. Do we see him winning, guys?
Yeah.
I thought. Oh, sorry.
No. Go on, Brendan. Carry on. You've come furthest. Go on.
I thought Duke Janay ran very well at Cheltenham and is a progressive horse. I thought he'd probably be the chosen one of Willie Mullins, and he's probably the one I'd choose as well.
Okay, James, you about to say something?
I was going to say I do think Blow by Blow can win.
Okay.
He's top rated. Now I know he's giving weight to everything, but he won that Martin Pike very well.
Yeah.
We know from his bumper days that he's what a good horse he can be. So yeah. Perhaps we've got the real blow by blow back.
Brilliant. Okay, and Rob, anything else at Fairyhouse on Sunday, or indeed anywhere else on Sunday?
Yeah, that's great too. You're talking at the novice hurdle. I had it between Scarpetta and Duke de Genève, and Scarpetta having just finished ahead of Duke de Genève behind Sam Crow. I just thought he might be one who would improve a little bit more. Could be a good day for Gordon down in Cork. You think he's got runners in every race bar the last, so keep an eye out for him. But I thought the best horse or the best chance in Cork, Barry Garry's got to Cork on Sunday for 2 rides. He rides Spades are trumps for Gavin Cromwell. I think he's a great chance. He was second he beat actually Paloma Blue in his maiden hurdle, and he was just touched off in his most recent start. And it's a pretty good handicap hurdle in Cork. So I thought Spades are trumps there. And in the bumper, the sales bumper, Willie's got 4. There's already been a bit of word for Pont Avon. He could be the best of Willie's 4 in that big sales bumper on Sunday.
Okay, Brendan?
No, that's it for me, Lee.
Okay, that's mine. That's grand. And James?
No, nothing for me on Sunday either, other than those races.
Okay, well, in that case, we will just have a quick look at the big one on Monday, because our next podcast will be on Tuesday. The Bowl Sports Irish Grand National. Always a fantastic contest. 30 declared, 3 reserves. No Brits, sadly. 13 trained by Gordon Elliott. Rob, how do you bet on the Irish National?
Yeah, we're 6 places in the Irish National, 13 for Gordon, 5 for Willie. We're 7 to 1 Pair of Brown Eyes, having a second start for Willie. Paul Townend's chosen him. We're 8 to 1 Bell's Hill. We're 9 to 1 Maldini. It's then 10's Monbeg Notorious, 12's False and Blue and Squator, 14's Bar.
Okay, and what's your idea of the Irish National winner?
crazy statly. The last 4 years, less than half the starters have finished the race.
Right.
And I suppose when you hear a stat like that, you're probably thinking an awful lot of horses fall, but it's so stamina sapping that the majority of horses end up being pulled up in this. So you need stamina. You need a horse with proven stamina. I backed Bell's Hill a couple of weeks ago, but he's very high in the weights. He's not proven over a trip like this. And I've come down to False Blue. Obviously, he was a leading fancy for the Welsh National. Then it got transferred. He didn't make it in the end. Went to Sandown, ran well in a hurdle. Won the Grand National Trial at Punchestown. If you want a horse who stays, if you want a horse who likes heavy ground, False Blue is the one for me.
Isn't he Gary O'Brien's horse as well from ATR?
He is, yeah, and Robbie Power's on him. I think Robbie has a connection with one of the owners, so
right.
It'll be a poignant win for Robbie, obviously, who won it last year as well.
Okay, and Brendan, I talked to you as a frustrated man because I backed Bell's Hill at 40-1 for the National when the weights came out, and you know he's off 148 at Aintree, he's off 158 here at Fairyhouse. Do you think it's just the Irish Trainers Championship that's making Willie run him in this race?
Yes, you are a victim of this Irish Trainers Championship.
I'm a victim.
Which I was revelling in earlier. I feel terrible now, Lee. I feel absolutely terrible. Yes, I would say that is the reason.
Yeah, I don't blame you personally, Brendan, to be fair. It's not your fault.
As you say, it's a no-brainer from a point of view of handicapping. I mean, Pair of Brown Eyes was also £10 well in at Aintree, but he wouldn't have got into the race, unlike Bell's Hill.
Yeah.
So it is surprising. I feel for you now.
Well, I mean, I feel for myself as well, but nothing can be done about it. Is it significant, though, do you think, that Paul Townend is riding Pair of Brown Eyes, or would it simply be a case of, didn't David ride him last time, Bell's Hill?
Yes, well, also I'd say Paul Townend, I mean, he rode Pair of Brown Eyes, so I can only imagine what sort of a feeling he gave him in Goran, because visually, it was just a sensational performance. Now, as Rob says, the stamina isn't proven, but the stamina wasn't proven going into that race. And it was a little bit like Total Recall. I know it's an easy comparison, first run for Willie, but a little bit like Total Recall earlier in the season in the Munster National. For the last mile, your eyes were just drawn to him. You're just travelling all over the opposition. The third's gone and won a decent handicap in Navan. The sixth's gone and won the Ulster National since. The form looks strong. He's granted now he is up £9. He's £1 well in on that performance, but it's a second run for Willie Mullins. If he does stay, he's going to take an awful lot of beating on that performance.
Yeah, does sound good. And James?
Well, I'm going to go for a bit of an outsider here. One of Gordon Elliott's runners, Sutton Manor.
Right.
He had some very good bits of form earlier in the season. I think he was second to the Storyteller at the track, and he was also fifth in last season's Pertemps final, won by Presenting Firstly, so that's very good form. So that would suggest on his very best he could be well treated. Cheek pieces remain on after he was brought down last time, so if they have the right effect, I think he can go well in the testing ground. Okay,
and my hope is that Bell's Hill wins the Irish National easily, prompting Willie Mullins and Graham Wiley to think, let's go for the Irish National, Grand National double in the same season. I fear I'm clutching at straws.
Well, live in hope.
Yes, I do. Yeah. I do. Anything else, guys, on Monday you wanted to mention before we close the programme?
Well, the decks aren't.
No, we haven't got decks yet. No, so you'd have to be guessing, wouldn't you, really?
Yes, in the 350.
Go on.
If Blueberry turned up in the 350, he'd beat a proper horse in Cheltenham of Paul Nicholls. I'd expect him to win again if he shows up.
Okay. Well, I reckon that then is just about it, guys. Have a wonderful Easter, James, Brendan and Rob. Don't forget, we're back on Tuesday with our weekend review postcast. If you enjoyed listening to this, and we hope you did, then do please rate, review and subscribe us on iTunes. It makes us more visible to lots of potential new listeners. And we leave you with a beautiful musical moment. This is Mick Easterby with the Cole Porter Classic, Night and Day.
This is therapy for the top yard horses. It's no matter, darling, where you are, I think of you night and day. traffic's boom, or the silence of my lonely room, I think of you. Night and day and night, under the hide of me, there's oh such a hungry yearning burning inside of me, that its torment won't be through till I let me spend my life making love to you day and night, night and day. How's that?
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Check out Paddy's Rewards Club. Simply place 5 bets of £10 or more across any sport in a week, and you'll get a free £10 bet then next week. T&Cs apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.